The toxic duo. Few Democratic candidates want Biden or Harris to campaign with them. I think that's pretty funny. It shows how bad they really are, and it shows the state of our country that the two people that's in charge of running the country, nobody wants them around. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. And when you hit that alarm bell, you can change it from personal to all. That way, you get all the notifications from when I put out stuff throughout the day. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And there's also a link to my Instagram where I put out even more news. So check that out as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Usually, the final month of a midterm election is a hectic one for the president of the United States. Barack Obama, for instance, made 22 campaign related trips in October 2010 in a futile effort to stem losses in his first midterm election. Democrats lost 63 House seats and control of the chamber. President Joe Biden, in comparison, made just 8 last month, and has little on his schedule for the final week of campaigning. The problem: next to nobody wants Biden or Vice President Kamala Harris to appear on stage with them. I mean, who would? Just look at everything that's going on. Look again, like I stated earlier. Look at the state of this country. Look at the state of the economy. It's really nothing they can campaign on that's actually good. I mean, social issues, they're getting slammed right now. I mean, everything across the board looks terrible for them. So who really would want them to stand on the same stage as them? Quote, of the 14 states with some of the most competitive Senate and governor races based on ratings from the Cook Political Report, Biden has visited 6 since September 1st, according to a Wall Street Journal analysis. The Daily Mail reported this week Biden hasn't bothered to make stops in Arizona, Nevada, or Georgia. He also is not expected to make additional visits to Wisconsin or Michigan either. So, what does that tell you? Of course, there's an obvious reason why. Inflation is soaring, and Americans, more than 6 in 10 of whom are living paycheck to paycheck, are just trying to figure out how they're going to make it until the next payday. They overwhelmingly blame Biden for the shredded economy, and according to nearly every poll, they're about to take it out big time on Biden's Democratic Party. And just take a look at the toxic duo schedule this week. Biden will travel to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in a last-ditch effort to save Democratic gubernatorial candidate Charlie Crist, who appears beyond salvation with a Real Clear Politics average of all polls, giving him just a 12.3-point disadvantage. He'll then head to another event to hype Democrat Val Demings, who trails Senator Mark Rubio in the RCP average by 8 points. On Wednesday, Biden, quote, will deliver remarks on protecting Social Security and Medicare and lowering prescription drug costs at the White House, according to his official schedule. I mean, this is stuff that they Democrats talk about every year, lowering drug costs and Social Security, and same stuff every election cycle, and they don't do anything about it. Really, it's just talking points if you really think about it. But as desperate Democrats often do when they're trailing badly, they hit the Metascare button, alleging falsely that Republicans will gut the Social Security programs. I mean, that's what I just alluded to. They do it every election cycle. And on Thursday, Biden will travel to New Mexico for a variety of appearances, including an event with Democrat Governor Lujan Grisham. And he doesn't even have a trip scheduled on Friday, when he often cuts the day short and helos to his Delaware beach house. I mean, he'd be on vacation more than any president that comes to memory. Every time I see this guy, he's in Delaware on vacation, and we can't get a hold of this guy. Harris's schedule is even worse. She's heading to Boston on Wednesday to highlight the Biden-Harris administration commitment to lowering costs for working American families, creating jobs, and combating climate crisis, her schedule said. And we know that the whole climate thing is a hoax and it's very, very low on the list of what Americans actually care about. So no one really cares about the fake climate hoax in the first place. Yeah, climate doesn't even make the top 10 issues Americans care about, and Massachusetts isn't exactly a swing battleground state. She'll also deliver her boring endorsement speech later in the day for gubernatorial candidate Maura Healey, who the RCP average says leads the Republican candidate by a whopping 25.5 points. So she's there for no reason, really. They're gonna this lady Moore is gonna win no matter what. So they're just going there just to say that they're campaigning. I believe is what that is. No one really thinks that that a Republican is going to take Massachusetts. On Thursday, she'll hit New York City, which is already heavily liberal. Another one to campaign for Governor Kathy Hochul. And on Saturday, she'll go to Illinois, another liberal bastion, to deliver remarks at an AAPI event. That's so boring. We're not even going to look up what AAPI stands for. Who cares? Democrats have tried to frame Campaign 22 on issues like Social Security and abortion, but as Bill Clinton's campaign manager declared in 1992, my favorite quote, it's the economy, stupid. Quote, the problem this cycle in terms of where we are today and where we are headed is that it's not clear what is safe anymore. Democratic strategist Chris Kofinis told the Journal, quote, I'm not surprised he's not going to Arizona and Nevada. The question is he helping or hurting in Pennsylvania or New York? That part is not clear. I don't see many candidates clamoring for him to come. That's because they're not. I think it's hurting him. I mean, it's hurting the Democratic Party. They really don't want him to show up, but they're afraid to say it because if they say it, they'll have to admit to the fact that his administration is ruining this country. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out themarkrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.